Well, hello everyone. It is Super Bowl Sunday 2018. I've been thinking about doing a series of retirement planning videos. These are targeted at my kids who are age 40-ish, and they're at that age where they can start to really look forward in time and see themselves in the position which I am in now, which is just setting up to retire. So given that I'm going through this experience of, the final kind of round of financial planning for retirement, I thought this would be a great time for me to share whatever insights I have with my kids and whoever else might be interested in learning about this topic or talking about this topic. So this one's going to focus on Social Security benefits, on the Social Security system, how it works and how it pays out. And then I'll do others that will take on other topics. So this first one, again, being on Social Security, I'm going to focus on the Social Security system, talk a little bit about the history of it, but primarily focus on how benefits are determined, how the taxes you pay in correlate with the benefits that you ultimately receive at the time you actually retire. And when we think about retirement planning, there are many issues actually to bear in mind. And here comes a list of those things. This is not an exhaustive list, but certainly these are some of the key considerations. So one is just the duration of the benefits. So how long do I need my retirement benefits to last? How do I manage debt both in retirement plan, in my retirement years and perhaps before retirement years? Life expectancy is a critical concern because that ties to the duration of the benefits. You don't want your life to outlive your benefits. On the other hand, you don't particularly want to aspire for a short life. Risk management, so how do we manage risky investments like stocks in our retirement years? And how do we allow for the fact that stock returns are not fixed, they're highly variable? Managing taxes, both in our working years and our retirement years, is an additional concern. Inflation is always a worry because as inflation goes up, it can simply eat up retirement benefits. And the benefits that we thought would be substantial and enough to sustain us through our retirement years start getting eroded because of the effects of inflation. What you want to do in terms of creating wealth to pass along to the next generation? And then what about contingencies? Things could happen to your health or other issues. Talking about retirement planning, we can begin with the observation that there are multiple sources to fund retirement, at least potentially. So Social Security is the one we're going to talk about today, but most of us hopefully will also have some kind of private retirement plan, so 401k or an IRA or a 403b plan, perhaps a pension plan that's sponsored by an employer. We also may have savings and other assets that can be liquidated in our retirement years. Sometimes people purchase annuities, and annuities have their place. They can also be used to fund retirement. We may even decide to work during our retirement years, so we can have a part-time job or we could have a full-time job that gives us a lot of psychic return. So it's not just a job for earning a paycheck, but we actually grow satisfaction out of that job for whatever reason that might be. We also may have other assets that we can sell. So we may have land, or we may have a plan to ultimately sell our house or something like that. All right, so again, all of those funding sources I will talk about in turn, but today we talk about Social Security. So Social Security started back in 1935, so it was a Roosevelt era law. And so in 1935, when the Social Security system was enacted, the tax rate was very low. Most people did not live long enough to collect benefits because the retirement age was 65, even back in 1935. But life expectancy was below 65, so most people didn't expect to live long enough to collect. So Social Security really at that time was a benefit that was given to people who, through no fault of their own, simply outlived the mortality tables and found themselves in need, of course, of some sort of support in those later years. So it wasn't intended to be a retirement plan for everybody, for the masses. But over time, that's what it's become, because as life expectancy has increased, virtually everyone can look forward to the likelihood of living long enough to collect benefits under Social Security. And of course, over time, then the rates have gone up. The base on which the tax is applied has also gone up a great deal. And so the Social Security system has become a very large part of the federal government, and involves about $1 trillion a year. Now, there are concerns about the financial sustainability of the Social Security system. I'm not going to go into that, but it will need some fixing if it is to be sustained over the coming decades, let's say. All right, so here are some of the important features of Social Security. If we have a married couple, both spouses can independently accumulate benefits under the Social Security system. So if both spouses do work, the amount of benefit earned by one spouse will not impact the amount of benefit earned by the other. So both benefits can be determined independently. Now, there are opportunities to gain a spousal benefit in the instance where, say, one spouse dies and the spouse who died had a higher earning job than the spouse who remains living. But that's sort of a trivial issue that I'm not tending to talk about now. Social Security, no matter how much you paid in, the benefit will end at death. So unlike, say, a private 401k or 403b plan, once you are entitled to the money that you have paid in. And if you die before those monies have all been paid out to you, then they can be gifted to whomever you would wish them to have them at your death. But with Social Security, you may have paid in for 40 years, and when you turn age 66 or 67, say the year you become eligible for full retirement benefits, if you die, there is no benefit that will be passed along to your heirs. So this is one of the downsides of all the money that you will have paid into Social Security over the years, is that you do not own the benefit, in the sense that all of those taxes you paid in over the years will be simply forfeited if you don't live long enough for those funds to be paid back to you. It is adjusted for inflation, so in terms of inflation being a concern that we have in our retirement years, it's nice to know that as inflation goes up over time, the benefit that you receive under the Social Security system will also go up over time. Now, this is the kind of the nuts and bolts of how the system works. So you pay in taxes over your working career. So income you earn from an active job or self-employment is subject to taxes. So today, taxes are assessed on up to about their first $130,000 of earnings. So any earnings you have above $130,000 a year are not subject to Social Security tax, but everything below that will be subject to Social Security tax. So when your benefit is determined, they look back over 35 years of your earning history. So the highest 35 years of your earnings are averaged. So let's think about this on a monthly basis, because it's just a little bit easier. 35 years correlates to 420 months. So what the system will do then is calculate your average monthly earnings over your highest earning months. Again, 420 months is the look back period. Okay, so 420 months. Now, the way the system pays out is it heavily favors lower income individuals. So it's a regressive system in that sense. And let me just demonstrate how it roughly works. So for the first, again, think about that monthly average. Think about that monthly average salary that you have over your 420 month look back period. So average, just get that average over those 420 months. Okay? So get the figure in mind. So the first $900 of that average monthly salary, that first $900 will bring you a monthly benefit under Social Security equal to 90%. So $900 times 90% is $810. So if your average earnings per month over that 420 look back period was $900, then your benefit will be $810. Okay, now this is where the system is regressive. Think about the next $900. Well, instead of getting a payback at the rate of 90% of whatever that next average is, it's 35%. Okay, so for the first $900, what you get back is 90% of $900, or $810. Anything above $900 on up to around $5,000 for that monthly average, the payback is 35%. So let's say a person's lifetime monthly average salary over that 420 month look back period, let's say that it's $1,900. Okay, so the first $900 will get you a benefit of $810 a month. The next $1,000 will give you $350, or 35% of $1,000. So your total monthly benefit will be $810 plus $350, which would be $1,160. Now, if you have monthly earnings, and again, that average monthly earnings over that 420 month look back period, if that average monthly earnings is above $5,000, then for the amount above $5,000, you get credited at a rate of 15%. So it's a very regressive system, and the people who are paying the most in Social Security taxes over their working career are really subsidizing somebody else's benefits. So they're not getting back nearly as much as they paid in. So if you think about how quickly you get the taxes back that you paid into the Social Security system, the lower your earnings are, the quicker that payback will be. And if you're one of those people who are earning, up towards the top of the $130,000 is taxable, you may never get paid back even if you live a fairly long life. Okay, so we also have under Social Security 3 retirement dates. So you can retire when you're 62. That's called the early retirement age. You can retire at your normal retirement age, which is what most people do. And depending upon what your age is, that normal retirement age is 66 or 67. And then there's a late retirement age, which is age 70. Now, the monthly benefit that you're entitled to goes up over time. So if you take retirement at 62, the benefit will be lower than if you wait until 66 or 67. And if you take it at age 66 or 67, the benefit will be lower than it would be if you waited until age 70. So the older that you are, or the longer that you wait, the higher will be your average monthly benefit under Social Security. And again, the key thing to remember is that that benefit will last only so long as you live. So once you pass, that benefit is going to end. So it will not be passed along to your family. Okay, so that's our look at Social Security and the mechanics of it. So the wonderful thing about Social Security, if there's anything wonderful about it, is that all you need to do is work for a normal career length, for a normal career duration, and you will be entitled to benefits under Social Security. They won't be huge, they won't be large, but the beautiful thing about the Social Security benefit is it's not risky. So if you've earned it, you're going to get it. It's not going to be volatile like returns from a stock market. It's essentially a guaranteed benefit. And in these days where interest rates are so low on fixed return kinds of investment, it's nice to have Social Security benefits as part of the retirement portfolio because it reduces the need to take substantial risk in other parts of the portfolio. Okay, so next time, the next video that we make will be on a different topic, talking about a different dimension of retirement planning. We will continue this series of videos until I've kind of exhausted the kinds of topics that I want to talk about. But hopefully you'll find it interesting. Hopefully you'll find it useful.